This is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Spiritual Immersion, Taking the Plunge. I'm finding myself being a little hesitant here in this start, and it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. These podcasts, this series is really about supporting and empowering you to listen and know yourself in all ways as a human being and a spiritual being, and how that is, what that's like being a both human and spiritual being, having a human experience, having a spiritual experience. It's all right here, right now. So each one of these podcasts has a different theme or a different perspective, but basically it comes down to that we are both human and spirit. And how do we do that? How do we be that? How do we know? Most of us are having a hard enough time knowing what it's like to be a human being without having to add the truth, the absolute truth of being a spiritual being at the same time. That's for me inevitable truth. For some people it's not, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Each of us has our own perspective, and that's the point of these podcasts, is for each of you to know what that is. What is your truth? What is your principles? What are your values aligned with? How do you know? How do you know you're living into those values or in those truths? So one of the just to give you a little bit of a story, is quite often if I'm having a thought about something, I can have a conversation with myself in ways that can be pretty one-dimensional. So for instance, I would like to build a house. I would like to have a house. I'd like to live in a house. Right now, I live in a travel trailer, which is a really beautiful building, if you will. And I really want a house. And so sometimes I'll say, I'd really, looking at what would be feasible financially, and I'll say, I think I'd like maybe live in a manufactured house. And then as I'm thinking about that, I might hear a no, or I think I'd like maybe I should think about a tiny house. I'll get this no, or no, kit house, no. And I'm not the one saying no. I'm getting something else. I'm getting an answer from someplace else. And it's like, wait, who's talking there? And this is true for if I'm thinking about something to have for a meal. And I'll say, oh, I would really like some apple pie. I'll get nope. Or bacon and eggs. Yep. Or whole grain cereals for breakfast. Yep. So I'm getting these answers that for the longest time I didn't hear. I didn't hear an intuitive knowing and something greater than my own sense of self that is answering me, that's talking to me. Quite often, and this was sort of a big aha, was I was driving away from the house this one day, and I got this voice saying, hey, don't forget to take the mittens you were going to take to Sally's house. I was like, oh, thanks. I stopped the car, got out, and I realized it was not me who said, hey, don't forget to take the mittens to Sally's house. That wasn't me. That was a higher knowing or some other aspect of self, I'll say, a higher sense of self, I'm saying, that reminds me and talks to me and shares wisdoms with me that I haven't acknowledged or listened to or respected or honored. Like, wow, I'm constantly getting information from other sources. And most of the time I was ignorant of it. I was ignoring those comments, those conversations that were coming to me immediately. Now, we also have that part of us that is not necessarily speaking to us as from our highest truth. Sometimes there's a part of us that says, you're a stupid idiot, or you're a piece of shit, or, why do you think you could do this, whatever? Who are you to think? When I wrote my first book many years ago, Self-Empowerment 101, the conversation that came every single time I sat down to write was, who do you think you are sitting down to write this book? Who do you think you are, telling people what to do and how to do it? It was terribly demeaning, and I had to work through that because I knew I had something to share, something more than that I'm insignificant, despicable, unworthy piece of shit. I had to overcome that voice. I had to stop listening to that voice as if it were true. The voice that would say, "Hey, go ahead and have that piece of pie," even though I know I get symptoms immediately when I eat sugar and wheat. I have symptoms immediately that I've eaten sugar and wheat. So there's this voice that says, "Yeah, go ahead and do that. You can do it." And I have to go, wait, no, that voice is not in my highest truth. That voice is not in service to my highest truth. That voice isn't interested in me becoming my highest self, my highest knowing, my highest contribution. And so we have these voices that are with us always, and most of us, the volume is way up on the part that says, "You're just a piece of shit, you're insignificant, nobody cares what you have to say." I have a lot of clients who are coaches who are going, "Nobody wants what I have to offer." That's the truth. It's not the truth. It's the truth that they hear in their head. I don't have what people want. Nobody wants what I have to offer. And so that's a voice that is turned way up. And for most of us, the voice of our highest knowing, our highest truth, perhaps angelic influences or highest guides, and people as in entities or energies or beings on the other side that love you and truly want your highest truth, your highest good in the world, that volume is usually turned way down for so many of us. And so the intention of this particular podcast is to say, hey, how do you train yourself to hear that whisper that says, "Don't eat the sugar." Don't eat the sugar. Have something that's good and sweet like strawberries without the artificial sweetening or the additives of extra sugar. I can have fruit. I can have any fruit I want. I love it. It's great. I just can't have the stuff that you sprinkle on your cereal in the morning and in the coffee. I can't do that. That's not good on my body. So I have to turn up the volume of that which is really in my highest truth and my highest knowing. And you have that voice too. You have those beings, those entities, those whatever that are there to guide you to your highest truth, your highest knowing, to your highest degree of love, self-love, and the ability to be that love in the world. So I think that's pretty much it for today. I think this is kind of a short one, is just be aware that there's these voices that are, it's like radio channels that are giving you information. And some of that information is very positive and some of it's not. And sometimes those voices that say, if I'm thinking about, again, a manufactured home, it's like, oh, that would be easy. And I get this, no, it's like, well, what's it, and I'm looking for more information. What's it going to be? Or what should I look for? Or what should I do? It's like, no, right now it's just a no. Or I want something to eat. I think I'll have pizza. No. Okay, well, give me, what? How about a salad? Yep. Okay, great. Those kinds of listenings, we're training ourselves to listen to something other than what we've been listening to. You can keep listening to that channel that says you're not enough, you're unworthy, you're unlovable, you're not beautiful enough, you're not wealthy enough. Whatever those voices are, you're not enough. Or you can say, I'm tired of that. That's not getting me anywhere. That's not giving me a sense of value or presence in the world. I'm not happy and fulfilled. I want to hear and listen to what creates that sense of fulfillment in me. And in that, you begin to go, okay, I don't like that voice. I'm going to listen for the other voice. And so listen. And don't act until you hear what's inspiring or a yes for yourself. Or, okay, I will have a salad and I'll put an egg in it. Okay, I'll do that. And I'll enjoy it because it's good for me and I'm paying attention. I want my well-being and my whole being. I want it all. And so this is what I'm going to do. So you guys are always at choice to make those choices. You're always at choice of who you're going to listen to. You're always at choice at how you will listen, with resistance and resentment or openness and curiosity. You are at choice. And that's one of the main elements and intentions of these podcasts, is to let you know you're a choice to empower yourself to do whatever it is and have the best life, whatever that means to you. All right. Sending you big hugs and love, and bye for now.